You changed the past. And you changed the future. It's a new universe.
Let's go. The Flash, clasificada PG-13.
The 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
I'm directing Superman Legacy.
James Gunn is directing Superman Legacy. We start shooting in January.
Yeah.
You could have answered that.
In today's video, we're going to talk about the Flash movie because that's coming out next month. We're also going to talk about Superman Legacy, the next Superman movie, because there's been some pretty cool updates for that. And also we're going to talk about some other DCU news. So, yo, what is good YouTube? Watch you here. If you are new around, make subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse-based content that we cover on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, which really does help the channel. Also, if you could, check us out on Instagram at WashU to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also, if you could, check us out on Twitter, WashUG, because I've got like 4 followers on Twitter. Right, let's get into this video. So, as you know, if you've been on the internet or if you own a TV, The Flash, they're releasing a new TV spot every other day. They revealed so much of this movie that you don't even need to read the plot leaks or know what the plot leaks is, because they've pretty much revealed the whole movie already in TV spots and trailers. If you were to put them all together, sure, it would only accumulate maybe 10 minutes, but they are showing the biggest parts of the movie already. So something came out the other day claiming the movie had a budget of $220 million, but after looking into it, the budget is closer to 250, then allegedly 50 to 100 million with marketing. So pretty much got a budget around 325. So this movie's going to have to make close to 750-ish, maybe 700, because cinemas take 40 to 50% splits. They take even more in China. This has a Chinese release. I don't know why people think China's releases mean anything. They don't really mean much. So it's apparent why they're pushing this movie in your face everywhere. They've literally ruined parts of the movie for people. I really do feel sorry for people if you've watched most of the trailers, because they have ruined the biggest part. But you talk spoilers. Yeah, I know I talk spoilers, but you've got to click in. So they released another trailer that reveals even more and makes it clear a new timeline is going to be created. But realistically, if you've read any of the Flashpoint Paradox comic, he creates a scenario by Nora Allen not dying. He wakes up in a universe where his mother's still alive, and ultimately by the end of it, Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash, has to kill Nora Allen because that is a staple set point in the timeline. And then when he gets out of it, it creates a new timeline. But James Gunn said months ago that The Flash creates a new universe, i.e. the DCEU, which is going to be fascinating. And we know in this movie there is multiple Superman, multiple Batman, and yeah, Henry Cavill kind of appears in this movie in a roundabout way. But this information came out, which is interesting because it literally tells you the whole movie. It's not just a plot synopsis, it basically just tells you everything. So it reads like this. Worlds collide in The Flash when Barry uses his superpowers to travel back in time in order to change the events of the past after Batfleck tells him no. But when he attempts to save his family, inadvertently alters the future, which if you've seen the trailer, Batfleck literally says that to him, but it's part of Barry Allen's The Flash story that he's got to learn this for himself. Barry becomes trapped in a reality. So we're in a different reality here, in which General Zod, played by Michael Shannon, is still alive, threatening annihilation, and there are no superheroes to turn to. That is, unless Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement. Obviously, they go to find Bruce Wayne is actually not Ben Affleck, it's actually Michael Keaton, the Burtonverse Batman. So they had to take him out of retirement and rescued an imprisoned Kryptonian. But ultimately, to save the world, he is in and returned to the future that he knows but doesn't actually know. And obviously it's Supergirl, not Superman. And it explained that is there in an alternate reality, if you like? Barry's only hope is to race for his life, but will make the ultimate sacrifice be enough to reset the universe. The Snyder Bros don't want the universe reset, but the ultimate sacrifice is essentially to let Ebar Thawne reverse Flash kill his mother, which is a fixed point in the timeline, so it's got to happen. Anyway, I'm really fascinated by the reactions of this movie because recently it was revealed the movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, all these people on Twitter said they've watched the movie. So they've watched the movie, but the runtime's only just been confirmed after we're getting headlines like, you won't believe your eyes, and it's the greatest thing ever. Realistically, is it going to be hard to be the best DC movie in the last few years? Not really. Oh my God, you're such a hater. No, I'm not, but it won't be hard to be better than... Okay, the Batman was good. Let's give him that. But it is interesting how the official runtime has only just been released, yet everyone under the sun wants to get their little quote and little, oh, I've seen it out there, which I find fascinating. But I think the marketing plan is very weird because they keep showing so much. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Every movie does this. The Monsterverse does this. But they are ramping up these TV spots so much to the point where people and parts of the movie that you didn't know were going to be in the movie are now apparently in the movie because we're literally looking at trailers left, right, and center. I mean, even if you try and avoid them, they still pop up in front of you. So it's fascinating, and it's almost like people are trying to get clout when they watch it. I'm not saying anything, but I'm going to say this. Okay, cool. You've literally said nothing. Was it even worth you saying that? So this came out on the May 10th. Someone at the Today Show recently saw The Flash and they said nothing. Not going to say anything to spoil anything other than The Flash is so good. Got to see it this afternoon with friends at the official Today Show, and we all loved it. Well, the studio's literally dropping spoilers left, right, and center. They've even revealed the spoiler. They've even revealed this twist at the end of the movie. They've even revealed cameos. I mean, literally the whole scene where they go, careful for spoilers, don't ruin life. The whole scene when they go into the Speed Force and you see all the other DC legendary characters that are going to appear in this movie have been ruined for you. Someone leaked it on Twitter, but it was supposed to be shown at a DC event, and it was technically there, but it wasn't there. So they have ruined the biggest parts of the movie, but as we know, with this culture that is pop culture and the spoiler culture, no one cares for spoilers because it's not the same thing as watching it. Reading something, seeing something in a little trailer isn't the same thing as actually it appearing in front of you in a 2.5 hour movie. So this movie comes out June the 16th, and we're here, the Wishy channel is so freaking hyped for this movie. So, also in the news, James Gunn has officially confirmed they are going to be shooting Superman Legacy in January. And I question that. Why? Because if anyone knows anything about the last writer's strike, and also James Gunn handed in the script to himself and Zaslav and Pete Safran, even though Pete Safran's got nothing to do with it, really. He's the business side of it, if you like. So, in order for this movie to actually shoot in January, there will be no rewrites, nothing would need to be changed. And the last writer's strike lasted, I think, just under 7 months, which would nearly take us till January. But also that, it's like they can't rewrite any scripts on any TV shows and any movies. So all these actors gonna be lined up in time? They're gonna have other things going on? We don't know. I do find it fascinating. So apparently nobody knows anything about the casting for Superman Legacy. But you know the Twitter scoopers, they always have to come out and say something without really saying anything. So let's go over what they said. So I'm not going to say anything, but I do know that literally everyone who qualifies for the requirements of Superman has sent their audition tape into the studio. It's almost like it's the hottest thing in town, the hottest project to work on. And I'm thinking, this is literally a cast in notice for the Superman role. Who would not want... I mean, it's a very scary role to take on because you're going to get slaughtered. Just like Robert Pattinson did with the Batman, and then people actually turned out to like him as Bruce Wayne and as the Batman. It was well received. It's pretty much one of DC's movies that has in recent years made a profit outside of the Joker and Aquaman 2. Let's be honest, most of the Snyder movies didn't really make that much profit. I hate to say it, but if Zack Snyder's Justice League movie went out on box office, it would not bang $1 billion. I hate to say it. So we know the Superman role is a hot project for people, and it could put your name out there like Henry Cavill's name was put out there, although he did projects like The Tudors, etc. beforehand, and he was quite well established. If you are Superman in live action, even if your movie flop, you are Superman forever, and you can always get work at conventions, and people will always want to meet you at conventions and Comic-Cons and stuff because you were a version of Superman. Like Henry Cavill is forever going to be attached to being Superman in people's eyes that love Man of Steel, BVS, etc. So of course, I find most of these scoopers come out and say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff, which is exactly what you're doing, Ward. No, I'm just trying to get the point across that if you play Superman, if you play Batman, if you play Wonder Woman, if you play any iconic superhero role, Black Widow, it's up there. So, and Superman is like up there with the best roles to play as a superhero. So yeah, please stop talking rubbish, scoopers, when you've got nothing to say. So also in the news, David Zaslav has annoyed people again. Not the Snyder Bros, he's annoyed the shareholders of Warner Bros. Discovery. So recently an article that came out on May the 10th, which is a few days ago, Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders slam CEO David Zaslav compensation in say on pay vote. So as we know, Warner Bros. Discovery keeps losing money. They're in $50 billion worth of debt, and he's annoyed a lot of people. Stockholders have expressed serious displeasure with 2022 executive compensation at the Warner Bros. Discovery, led by CEO David Zaslav, according to results of a vote at the annual meeting Monday that was filled with the ZEC today. So-called say on pay vote saw nearly half the votes cast coming out against last year's comp, which was ratified with just over 50% approval. The votes are advisory only, meaning they're non-binding, but they do have an impact. Most public companies get over 90% approval. Anything under 70 is considered pretty dismal, like abysmal, really bad. So Zaslav is annoying the shareholders, and you don't want to annoy the shareholders because the shareholders generally pay for everything. Now, this is the thing that people don't understand about all these movies that come out. It's not Warner Bros. Discovery funding these movies. It's the shareholders, the same at Disney, the same at all these big companies. Movies are actually financed by investors, not the actual company themselves. I swear most of these people that comment about movies and have gripes and stuff don't understand how Hollywood worked. It's like the whole, Zack Snyder's Justice League could be sold. The Snyderverse could be sold to Netflix. It's ridiculous. It could not legally be sold to Netflix unless you're going to sell every character individual because, repeat after me, lads, the Snyderverse is not an IP. And I'm glad other content creators are finally understanding and coming to logical reasoning that the Snyderverse can't be sold. It's ridiculous. I think a lot of people should understand how Hollywood works, how movies work and stuff before you start commenting on most of this stuff, because people are like, I know the Snyderverse could be sold because I said so. No, that doesn't really stand up. They're not going to sell Batman to Netflix, then have their own version of Batman, being whoever James Gunn casts. I mean, there's a joke, a pretty funny video that Chris Pratt is going to be Batman. I mean, it's a joke. He's obviously 43. God, if they made Chris Pratt Batman after firing Superman, obviously they didn't fire Henry Cavill. He never had a contract. It was just for The Flash and for Black Adam and Cameo. But if they hired a Batman over 40 and got rid of Henry Cavill, in my opinion, the greatest Superman ever, that would be bad. But we do know in the new universe, Batman would technically have to be a little bit older than Superman because that would make concurrent sense. So most people are expecting casting information for Superman Legacy and Batman and Brave at San Diego Comic-Con, almost like they think they know what's going to happen. So some people are like, yeah, we're going to get the Superman Legacy casting in the summer in San Diego, in America, because they're shooting in January. They don't actually have to reveal anything. This is the thing. When James Gunn or someone at DC Studios comes out and says something, or when Zaslav said that James Gunn is on a mission from God to make DC great again, they don't actually have to say any of these things. So I'll give you some inside information. When a director, when a head of a studio, when the head of Warner Bros. Discovery says something, because he actually wants to say it. He, she wants to say it. So all this tidbits and all this information that comes out here left, right, and center, they're saying it for a reason. They're not just randomly dropping stuff there and here for no good reason. It's like when they revealed that crypto will appear in Superman Legacy earlier last week. People went mad about it. Why? Because crypto, Crypto's only appeared in live action technically in Titans, and people are like, well, if Crypto's going to be in the story, they're just going to make Superman Legacy about a dog. No, they're not. They're really not. You need to read between the lines, let him film the movie first, let it get out, and then you could actually potentially have an opinion about it. It's like Bradley Cooper spoke about, yeah, if James Gunn wants me at DC, I'm coming. I'll go wherever James Gunn wants me. And Peacemaker was just an incredible program. So Bradley Cooper, is he going to be Batman? That would be cool. I honestly think Chris Pratt could be a cool Batman. And also, Bradley Cooper could be a cool Batman. But people will get triggered by that because they're both in their 40s. They'll be like, yeah, but Henry Cavill. Okay, Superman has to be younger. And Batman technically has to be a little bit older because he's got Robin in that series as well. So I'm expecting Batman to be late 30s to early 40s. So if Chris Pratt did turn out to be Batman and it wasn't really a joke, or if Bradley Cooper did turn out to be next Batman, that would be pretty cool. So this is today's video. DC update covering all the latest and greatest news and rumors and leaks that have come out recently. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WashDudeCB, be a voice. Check us out on Twitter, WashDudeG. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. Any comments down below, constructive criticism I will reply to. And I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.